My roommate is always taking my stuff without asking, and he's constantly late with his share of the rent. Hello, I'm in my late 20s and share an apartment with a guy in his early 30s. We met at our job and everything seemed cool when we were just coworkers. He seemed like a responsible, organized person who had his life together. A year has passed, and I'm now stuck wondering what to do. He rarely pays his rent on time, and when he does, he never mentions the delay or apologizes. What's more, he constantly borrows my stuff without asking, like my liquor, wine, food, hair gel, shampoo, and even my perfume, which he emptied without saying a word. He never replaces anything he takes or shows any gratitude. The one time he did replace my liquor, he ended up drinking the whole bottle himself, sip by sip, until it was gone. I'm not a big drinker, but I like to have a glass occasionally. Now, it doesn't surprise me when I open a new bottle, have one drink, and find it empty 2 weeks later. I purchased my apartment in 2021, completely renovated it, and added an extra bedroom to rent out. For the first 9 months, I charged him half of the market rate because I wanted to be kind and didn't really need the money. But 3 months ago, I finally talked to him about how he was taking advantage of me and set some clear boundaries. I laid out some basic rules: clean up after cooking and don't leave trash lying around. If you want to use someone else's stuff, ask first and replace it if you use it up. Rent is due on the 1st of every month. Also, replace anything you break or lose. I added rule number 4 after he threw away my cutlery along with his pizza boxes. That was the final straw. There have been a few more incidents that I'd rather not mention here, but I'm reaching a point where I feel like I'm taking on too much responsibility for someone who isn't a close friend or family member. He struggles financially, racks up debt for unnecessary things like partying downtown, and never saves a dime from his paycheck. Am I the bad guy for wanting things to change around my home? I'm exhausted from constantly having to take care of someone who doesn't take care of themselves. If I don't buy the essentials for the apartment, like soap, trash bags, or anything else you can think of, we never have them. It's like I'm the only one who thinks about the basics. To top it all off, after living here for a year, I've never seen him dust even an inch of surface area or lift a finger to clean. What do I do with this guy, fellow Redditors? I'm at my wit's end.
Story 2.
Am I the bad guy for ignoring a family member, 51-year-old man who did something really hurtful, even though he's helped me in the past? My relative, Tom, got in trouble with the law and was arrested. Then, he was charged with hundreds of counts of having child pornography, which is just devastating. Tom has been struggling with his health for a long time. He's dealt with depression and physical illnesses, and because of that, he's needed a lot of support. After his arrest, his wife and I don't blame her one bit, told him to leave. So he's been living with other family members who can take care of him. When we found out what Tom did, it felt like a bombshell dropped on our family. We were all completely shocked and disgusted. We're still waiting to hear his sentence, but we've been told he probably won't end up in prison. Meanwhile, Tom is living with his mom now. She's an older lady who often uses denial to deal with tough situations. Since Tom's arrest, she's been really focused on helping him get better, both mentally and physically. She wants our family to be supportive and understanding, and keeps saying things like, he just made a mistake when he was feeling lost and empty. To be honest, I don't buy into those excuses. I don't care if Tom's depressed or sick. Those conditions don't justify what he did. Other family members have struggled with similar issues, but they didn't go out and commit one of the most heinous crimes imaginable. I care deeply about my family and don't want to damage our relationships by avoiding gatherings just because Tom is there. However, I have no desire to talk to him or hear his side of the story. I'm not interested in what he has to say about his actions or anything else, so I simply ignore him. I don't initiate or engage in conversations with him in any way, but I believe my reaction is more than fair, considering the circumstances. However, Tom's mom thinks I'm being harsh and unfair by singling him out and intentionally ignoring him. She points out that when I was going through a tough time and felt suicidal, Tom was there for me and supported me. Tom was there for me when I needed him, even paying for my therapy. But now, I just can't bring myself to support him. What he did is something I can't forgive, no matter how hard I try. Just looking at him makes me feel sick to my stomach. So, am I the bad guy, Ada, for ignoring Tom and not helping him get better, even though he was there for me when I needed him?
Story 3.
Was I wrong, Eta, to tell her she was mistaken and ask her to leave? I'm a 25-year-old guy, and I was chatting with my 27-year-old friend about our lives and what we hope for the future. It was just a casual conversation about our dreams and things we're looking forward to. But then the conversation took a darker turn when she started talking about mental health. Just to give you some background, I've known this friend for 11 years, and we've been close the whole time. At one point, she was even my closest friend. We've both struggled with mental health issues in the past and have supported each other through some really tough times. So, when she suddenly started talking about mental health, it caught me off guard and made me a bit worried. I thought we were going to have a conversation about what was going on in her life, or maybe she'd ask me about my own struggles. But instead, she started telling me that I'm not taking care of myself or my mental health. Just to give you a better understanding, I've been going to therapy for 7 years now. I've made some big changes in my life. I quit drinking, smoking marijuana, and using psychedelics. I also stopped getting into fights. I still get depressed sometimes. But I've learned healthy ways to deal with it without hurting myself or others. I take care of myself by eating well, exercising, and working. I also enjoy outdoor activities like fishing, shooting, camping, and photography. I play music too. I'm just a regular guy trying to make a living and live a normal life. So I asked her why she was suddenly questioning my mental health and well-being. But instead of giving me a straight answer, she started criticizing me as a person. She made fun of my style, saying I only wear black and white clothes and don't dress fancy. She even judged my food choices, saying I'm too picky because I only eat fish and veggies due to my stomach problems. And to top it off, she questioned our mutual friends, saying something was wrong with me because we've known most of them since high school. She claimed that all her criticism was because I wasn't taking care of myself properly. I was hurt and confused, so I asked her to explain. But instead of giving me a straight answer, she started bragging about her new relationship, her recent promotion, and her new car. I was happy for her, but I didn't see how any of that related to me. So I asked her, what does this have to do with me? And she said, well, if you were really taking care of yourself, you'd have these things too. But you don't. Why not? It felt like she was rubbing her successes in my face and making me feel inadequate. I got frustrated and told her she was wrong. I reminded her of all the ways I'm taking care of myself, like going to therapy, eating well, exercising, and pursuing hobbies. But she dismissed everything I said, telling me, that doesn't prove anything. I'm doing the same things too. Just doing what you need to do doesn't make you special or unique. At this point, I was both angry and hurt. She wasn't just criticizing me, but also our mutual friends. I felt overwhelmed, so I calmly asked her to leave. But she exploded in anger, screaming at me about how I wasn't facing my problems and needed to grow up. She grabbed her stuff and stormed out of my apartment, slamming the door behind her. I was stunned, caught off guard by the sudden intensity of the situation, so I just let it go. Looking back, I realize I made a mistake by not supporting her when she needed it. It's been 3 days since our argument, and we haven't spoken until I tried to reach out and apologize today. But she rejected my apology, calling me a name and blocking me. I don't want to lose our friendship, and I know I messed up by asking her to leave. I'm worried about her and fear that I've caused a rift in our friendship. So, was I the asshole Eta in this situation? And what can I do now? I'm not looking for ways to fix it immediately, but rather what steps can I take?